What's up, Magic players? It's Doyle, your host here on DoylePrimeMTG, where I bring you the latest and greatest in Magic content that I can, while still trying to have a life. This week, I bring you the final in the series of 3 Commander decks that I'm building for my fiancé, to let her choose her jumping off point into the Commander world. First, we saw Easy to Cast. Next, we saw Life Gain. And now, we have Enchantress.
Forests, islands, mountains, plains, and swamps. The multiverse is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be. There is a tingling in the spine, a faint sensation, as if a distant memory, of walking from plane to plane. Our lives have been forever changed, as if by magic. Embark with me on this journey to eternity. Experience the true power of mind over matter as we ignite your spark and traverse into the magic multiverse.
Sythis Harvest Hand costs green-white for a legendary 1/2 enchantment creature with whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card and gain a life. This effect is a classic Enchantress effect that has been well established in strategy in Commander for quite some time now. This means we will have quite a bit of redundancy in our deck with multiple other cards that have this effect. And yes, the effects do stack. First up, we want to ramp, but we want to do so in a slightly more unique way than most of my other videos. Abundant Growth, Utopia Sprawl, and Wild Growth are each cost-effective quick ramp pieces that can launch us ahead of curve, sometimes quicker than many other forms of ramp. Fertile Ground, Wolf Willow Haven, and Growing Rights of Itlimoc will each give us an additional card as they ramp us farther ahead of the curve. Even though the next 2 cards aren't enchantments, Soul Ring and Arcane Signet are just too good to pass up sometimes. Carpet of Flowers is a ridiculously good enchantment, usually generating us loads of mana each of our turns. Even if none of our opponents actually have islands, it does at least cantrip itself with our commander in play. Further, Avacyn's Pilgrim and Birds of Paradise are excellent rates for ramp in green, also letting us color fix in the process. We can also let ourselves get a little bit out of control with Sanctum Weaver, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, and a proxy of Serra Sanctum. Each of these will tap for massive amounts of mana, setting us up for a winning play. Also, since we are going to be drawing so many cards, Exploration, Burgeoning, and Dryad of the Elysian Grove will each let us play additional lands each turn. Starfield Mystic and Herald of the Pantheon will each make all of our enchantment spells cost 1 less to cast. Finally, Mirari's Wake and Karametra, God of the Harvest, will close out our ramp section with a blast. These have some spicy, powerful abilities. Doubling our mana or finding a multitude of extra lands and putting them into play? Yes, please. Drawing cards is one of the most important aspects of Magic, and our Enchantresses make it quite an easy thing to do in this deck. In addition to Sythis, we also have Argothian Enchantress, Mesa Enchantress, Satyr Enchanter, Verduran Enchantress, Eidolon of Blossoms, and even Enchantress's Presence. Each of these have a similar ability to Sythis, letting us draw a card for each enchantment that we play. Courser of Kruphix has the potential of drawing us lots of cards by allowing us to play lands from the top of our library. Closing out this section will be Sylvan Library and Abundance. While only one of these is technically card advantage, just bear with me for a second. Sylvan Library makes it so that we draw 3 cards at our draw step instead of just 1, and then we have to decide for 2 of those cards whether we want to pay for life or put that card back. Now, Abundance replaces our draws with a choice of either a land or a non-land card. When both of these are out, we actually get 3 triggers of Abundance, and then since we didn't technically draw any cards with Sylvan Library due to Abundance's replacement effect, we actually get to keep all 3 cards that we put into our hand. Though this is smaller of a draw section than I usually recommend, We are drawing so many cards in this deck that I find that we generally have enough to get us going when our main source of card draw is already in the command zone. This also leaves us extra room for cards to control the play space, fending off our opponents while protecting our own strategy. We have a few instants for a set of classic removal spells. Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares will each exile target creature for only 1 white mana. Similarly, Generous Gift and Beast Within will destroy any target permanent, replacing it with a basic 3/3 green beast token. We have a sorcery board wipe with Austere Command, and a piece of white protection with Heroic Intervention. These few non-enchantment based spells are just too convenient and powerful to exclude them from a deck designed for a beginner to pilot. Stony Silence can take advantage of our lack of artifacts by turning off the activated abilities of all artifacts, while Aura of Silence can actually help to ward off our opponents from even casting artifact and enchantment spells. Ghostly Prison and Sphere of Safety will help protect us from aggressively attacking opponents. Destiny Spinner and Sterling Grove will each help us to protect our enchantments from being removed by targeted removal. Grasp of Fate, Out of Time, and Karmic Justice each provide multiple instances of removal on a single enchantment. Darksteel Mutation, Kenrith's Transformation, and Song of the Dryads each give us a targeted way to trap an opponent's commander on the battlefield, turning it into some other type of permanent and removing all of its abilities. Seal of Cleansing and Seal of Primordium each can self-sacrifice to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Auramancer and Eternal Witness each will find us an enchantment from our graveyard and put it back into our hand. Also, Hall of Heliod's Generosity can repeatedly place them back on top of our library. Closing out this section, we also have Open the Vaults to return all enchantments from the grave to the field under their owner's control. Mass recursion is quite a powerful thing for any deck, especially when we are exploiting the card type. There are a number of ways that we can end the game. We want to diversify our win con to ensure that our opponents don't quite know which conduit they need to take care of. Ajani's Chosen and Archon of Sun's Grace will each generate tokens from our enchantments entering the battlefield, amassing an army with which we can overrun our enemies. Myth Realized can grow larger and larger over time, eventually animating itself and smacking an opponent for a large amount of damage. Luminarch Ascension can allow us to generate 4/4 flying angel tokens for just 2 mana each once we have all 4 quest counters on the enchantment. Starfield of Nyx will not only help us return a bunch of enchantments to play, but it can also allow our enchantments to become creatures and work as an attacking force when needed. We also have a suite of cheap enchantments that will allow us to recast them multiple times. Flickering Ward, Mana Bloom, Whip Silk, and Molting Skin will each have an ability that allows them to return to our hand, allowing us to recast them, drawing more cards, and gaining more life. Finally, our alternate win con, Test of Endurance, will win us the game at our upkeep as long as we have 50 or more life. Our lands are the foundation of any deck. Reliquary Tower is not a bad idea in this deck since we are drawing so many cards. It is really nice to hold on to them. For color fixing, we have Command Tower, Bountiful Promenade, Branchloft Boulderloft Pathway, Brushland, Canopy Vista, Horizon Canopy, Savannah, Sun Petal Grove, Temple Garden, Windswept Heath, and Wooded Bastion. Each of these will help fix our colors, leaving us room for 10 forests and 8 plains. That about wraps it up for this deck tech. I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll find the link to the full deck list on arcadeck.com in the description, complete with a maybe board. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to take this deck tech in a different direction, or if there are any key includes that I missed. Cheers, and happy casting! If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like button, and also share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like these, or hear me ramble about how to navigate this magic multiverse, go ahead and click that subscribe button to stay up to date on the latest from me, Doyle Prime, and the happenings throughout Magic the Gathering. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you all next video.